Hello, this is Kenneth Turan of the Los Angeles Times. I'm here with my colleague Justin Chang, and we're here to talk about the Oscar nominations. So, Justin, what did you think?
Well, I think that there were not too many surprises, I would say. You know, The Shape of Water, of course, Guillermo del Toro's film, leading the way with 13 nominations, which is a lot. You know, it's up there kind of with the La La Lands and the All About Eves, you know, of the world. So I was really pleasantly surprised to see Phantom Thread do as well as it did. And, you know, I thought it maybe would get nominations for Daniel Day-Lewis in some technical categories. But for Paul Thomas Anderson to get Best Director and for the film to place in Best Picture and Leslie Manville in Supporting Actress, I adore the movie. I'm really pleased that the Academy took note of a film even though it didn't open until December, which is challenging sometimes. And
also, you know, I mean, we are awash in Oscar prognostications and Oscar websites. And, you know, the hard reality is that nobody really knows. People would lead you to believe that the odds are changing every day, but until the nominations come out, you don't really know what the Academy likes. And all that support for, you know, Phantom Threads is a perfect example. Nobody anticipated that. The Academy does what it wants to do, and, you know, we find out this morning what it was.
Yes, indeed, and they have kind of their pet favorites, and then there, you know, certainly the things that were borne out by all this prognosticating. You know, I think, you know, something like the Best Actress category, those 5, I think, people have been predicting them for months, you know, and some people were even thinking, like, they're not going to nominate Meryl Streep for The Post. It's like, of course they're going to nominate Meryl Streep for The Post. Never count out Meryl Streep
Not in the
anything.
Oscars, yeah. No, and, you know, I know we both think that Denzel Washington gave a great performance in Roman Israel Esquire. And again, that performance has been neglected. But again, you spoke about favorites. That's he's an actor the Academy likes. He's won the the Oscar. So I was happy to see them single him out as well.
Were there any other things you were pleased about, Kenny?
Oh gosh, pleased about.
Surprise? Or not pleased about?
No, as you, I mean, I was very. You know, it was interesting to see, again, though everyone's been talking about what a toss-up this is, clearly Shape of Water with 13 nominations, and also nominations across the board, nominations in the craft, below-the-line categories, but 3 acting nominations. You know, this is a very strong, you know, there's never a sure thing, but it's no longer a toss-up. I think for sure Shape of Water is the favorite.
I think so too, and it has that kind of magic combo of really, you know, robust technical achievements and an emotional thrust that is borne out by those 3 acting nominations. We must talk too, of course, about, you know, I think Lady Bird and Get Out and Greta Gerwig and Jordan Peele are, you know, what success stories that those are, you know, and both of them landing in the directing race. Greta Gerwig becoming only the 5th female director in history to be nominated in this category, and for a film that I think really deserves it. I was really pleased to see Lady Bird doing as well as it did.
Absolutely. And, you know, again, I see sometimes that these awards, these nominations, see to me, it's like the Academy is like in the middle of a transition. I mean, you've got stuff that would not have been nominated in years past, like Get Out, a genre film like that, no matter how perceptive, would never have gotten a shot. But then you have a Darkest Hour nominated, which is really kind of a dinosaur. You know, it's kind of back from the, you know, the Dark Ages, speaking of Darkest Hour. And,
Darkest Ages.
Darkest Ages, but that got nominated too. So the Academy is changing, but it's still the Academy.
I think even something like Dunkirk is a great, and I'm really happy to see. I'm kind of rooting for a lot of films this year, and I'm definitely Dunkirk is one of them. I think that, you know, Christopher Nolan brings such a, you know, Christopher Nolan, first-time directing nominee, which is ridiculous.
That's kind of amazing.
It's really amazing. He's been nominated for screenwriting in the past, but a film that is, you know, sort of you could call it a dinosaur, sort of a legacy cinema, but it brings such a cutting-edge kind of technique to it that it feels really new at the same time.
And then, you know, what it did with the time frame also makes it feel new, the way that, you know, some segments play out in an hour, some segments play out over days. This is, you know, the way it's modernized itself.
Yeah. Were there any categories and just kind of more out of the way races where you noticed something good or bad?
There's sadness, you know, that Foxtrot, which is a remarkable Israeli film, didn't get nominated. It was on the short list, but didn't make the final 5. I just think that's you know, a miscarriage of justice. You know, I think that's indefensible to leave that film out. I've seen the other films on the list. You know, I just I would argue with people who think those other films, all of them, are better than Foxtrot.
I would also add to that in the directing category, I think it's unconscionable that Frederick Wiseman, who's received an honorary Oscar once again, has never been nominated for a competitive documentary feature Oscar, and for Ex Libris, which I think is one of the great films of his very long and storied career. So
yeah, it's a crime that they left him out as well.
Well, we don't look to the Oscars for justice or satisfaction, but we will continue to look at them. You can follow our coverage here at latimes.com.